the fight that I wanted and the fight that the people want. I'm fighting Petr Yan October 22nd in Abu Dhabi.
Yes guys, welcome back to the FightWatch UK YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the absolute banger that has been announced this week from the UFC for UFC 280 this October in Abu Dhabi between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan in the absolutely stacked bantamweight division. Anyone who follows the UFC or doesn't live under a rock knows for a fine fact these two guys have some of the biggest fan bases in the sport, some of the most entertaining styles, and always put on a show. These two are absolute killers that have been matched against each other in quite a bit of a shocking turn, considering both men's recent runs of competition. Petr Yan coming from title contention and Sugar Sean O'Malley not exactly facing high-ranked opposition. With that said, it is a fight I'm looking forward to breaking down, and let's get straight into it. So starting with Sugar Sean O'Malley, he is a 15-1 fighter with 1 no contest. As much as he will tell you he's mentally undefeated, on paper and looking at the facts, it's still not a bad record to have, only 1 defeat, and it's against Marlon Chito Vera, who is not a bad name to lose to, considering the quality of fighter that he is. That said, O'Malley is a dangerous striker who recorded 3 finishes and 3 of the night bonuses in 2021. While he doesn't face the highest level of opposition, it's tough to blame him considering the fact that you get many fighters now in this generation who are building their way through the rankings, fighting the lower level opposition, getting finishes, working their way up and building their careers in order to secure those higher level contracts, make more money, where really if he was to go and fight someone like Petr Yan on initial contract that he was offered when coming out of Dana White's Contender Series, potentially make 10 to 14k a show, 10 to 14k to win, it's a bit high risk compared to the reward. O'Malley is a jiu-jitsu purple belt who hasn't exactly been tested with his grappling in the UFC. He's a quintet veteran and has also competed at several competitions around the country at a regional, national level, where he's had mixed results against people who do jiu-jitsu full-time. And this goes to show that he is willing to work on his game, and it's something that he is serious about improving in the UFC when he does come up to face that higher level opposition. He uses this range very well, as shown in the photos against Chris Moutinho, Eddie Wineland, and other previous opponents that he's faced. And this is something that he handles really, really well by mixing in those punches and kicks to help keep that range and control the pace of the fight, because being a taller fighter, it's not ideal for him to get in those dog fights. He just wants to pick off the shots, throw off the volume, and eventually get those finishes that he has been doing throughout his career. And it's the smart way to play it, really, if you look at it that way. All that said about Sugar Sean O'Malley, let's take a look at his opponent, Petr Yan. Styles make fights, and this fight stylistically on paper looks absolutely amazing. You can expect a high-level striking matchup between the two of them, and I'm not going to say too much in this section, but when we do take a deeper look at Yan and his career so far, his stats, stuff he's achieved with the skill set that he has compared to stuff that he's been working on recently, it is genuinely a fight I am really, really looking forward to and can't wait to see come October. I can't remember if I mentioned it properly, but O'Malley does have a significant height and reach advantage over pretty much everyone he's faced, but when you look at the level of competition, it is going to play a big part. Now, Petr Yan is a former undisputed UFC champion and also a former interim champion who is a master of sport in boxing, and he uses that to break people down. His only losses in his 16-3 record have come by split decision and disqualification in famously, his fight against Aljamain Sterling, he got disqualified in a fight that he was quite heavily up on the cards in. Jan's faced taller opponents before, such as Corey Sandhagen, where he has managed to get past their reach and break them down by controlling the pace in striking, mixing up body shots, head shots, and mixing in other styles of fighting as well, not just the striking. He's, as much as he's known for his finishing, 7 of those finishes have come by knockout and 1 by submission, giving him a 50% finishing record across his career, where at bantamweight, you don't need me to tell you, Yan is just a killer. He makes opponents break inside the cage with his pressure through boxing, cage control, the pace he puts on. He even out-wrestled Sterling in their first fight, which not a lot of people expected, even though Yan has credentials of his own. Sterling was known as a wrestler, and Yan heavily outworked him up to the point of a disqualification, which could come down to just a miscommunication between him and his coaches. I guess we'll never know. Yan trains out of Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand with a lot of top contenders in the UFC and some of the best fighters in the world. He trains at this camp full time, which really helps him work on his striking, which he's heavily known for, as I mentioned. The master of sport in boxing is in entertaining fights time after time, and he's broke down opponents. He's broke down opponents like Uriah Faber, Corey Sandhagen, and Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo, particularly in the vacant title fight, just looked completely different to how he usually looked. That said about Petr Yan and everything that he does inside the cage, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for the fight as a whole. Now, looking at the tail of the tape here, it just broke down the basic facts of it. Sean O'Malley 15-1, Petr Yan 16-3. Yan's a more experienced fighter inside of the cage, but that doesn't take away from any of O'Malley's accomplishments, being a Dana White's Contender Series veteran. Yan is a former champion in UFC and ACB, a Russian promotion. Both are under the age of 30, so both can be entering their athletic prime. O'Malley again holds a significant height and reach advantage over Yan, but as I mentioned in the previous chapter where Yan has broke down taller opponents before, I doubt that's really going to make much of a difference unless O'Malley uses it properly. How do you think the fight's going to play out? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you to everyone that watched this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing a lot more content like this on this channel, not just fighter interviews. It's going to be more breakdowns, lists, amateur and pro, giving every single athlete that competes in MMA as possible the platform to potentially be noticed from new people. If you liked what you've seen today, make sure to like this video, subscribe, leave a comment for what you would like to see more of, and make sure to follow FightWatch UK on all forms of social media. Thank you very much, and I will catch you guys later.